Welcome to Ask the Expert, an award-winning daily series from 8:30 to 9 a.m. to help small businesses. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments of the live feed. If you need any more advice, join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook. Accountants and business experts are on hand 24/7. Now, during the live session, we'll be running a poll, so please do engage with it and I'll reveal the result at the end. So I'd like to welcome myself, and my name is Anne-Marrie Martin, and I'm the founder and franchisor of Diddy Dance. We're preschool dance classes, and I decided to franchise my business back in 2006 after starting the business in 2003. Now, not all businesses are suitable for franchising, but I thought today, if that was an option that you were looking at to expand and grow your business, I'll try and give you a few pointers and a few starting tips on what to think about when franchising your business. So to start it and then to grow your franchise empire, it really is thinking about, is my business suitable for franchising? So things to consider. There are lots of different methods to be able to grow your business, and franchising is just one of them. You might decide to license your business. You might decide that running it under an online presence is the way to go. And it depends, service-based, product-based, many different things that would decide if that is the right route for you. So what I would say about franchising, and I think there are still lots of misconceptions, especially in the UK, about what franchising is. It's about that you've built a business and you can offer that business and award that business to somebody else in their local exclusive territory to run that arm of the business for you. So it's almost like a business in a box. So if you have a business that you feel somebody else could run and could replicate it identically to keep that brand security and awareness there, then you offer that as a business in a box for them to run in an exclusive territory. Now, licenses are a little bit looser, as in the concept might be there, the name might be there, but you decide it's a shorter training session and they have a lot more flexibility on how they decide to run that business. A lot of licenses don't give an exclusive territory. So if you're thinking in the fitness industry, for example, they might do a weekend's course, get their certificate, be able to use the brand, but they can run it where they want to and adapt it slightly. So franchising is, if your business and you're very passionate about it, not that anybody who licenses isn't passionate about it, but it's about building that you want. For me, it was about, I wanted a customer to get the same experience of a Diddy dance class, whether they were up in Scotland or whether they were down in London with myself. So it's about considering if that is right for your business and that's how you want to roll it out. But also things to consider are, you as the business founder, and you've created this business from scratch, it's your baby, as it were. It's about, am I the right person to franchise this business as well? And that doesn't need to be a barrier. It might be that you need somebody else in that could run that for you. It's a very different mindset running your own business to then allowing others to run your baby for you. So it's about considering if you're the right person, you have the right time, the right energy to be able to offer that as a franchise, to be able to guide, motivate, inspire a network of franchisees to be able to run what you've created in their own exclusive area. So it's analysing the business and analysing yourself as a franchisor and business owner as to whether that would be the right route for you. What I would say is that it is completely worth doing it professionally and ethically. There are many routes that have created a misconception around what franchising is and confused it with other ways of growing and scaling a business. But franchising really is about getting the experts in to help you do it professionally. So franchise lawyers, franchise consultants, I would always recommend getting in the experts to help you franchise your business. It's not a cheap route to growing and scaling your business. And again, a misconception, it is definitely not something if you want to get rich quick. It is a sustainable, long-term business model to grow and scale your business, whether it is just nationally or internationally. So hiring and going to the right franchise consultant. And again, there are ethics involved in every service-based industry. So if you meet a franchise consultant and within 5 minutes they're saying, yes, they can definitely franchise your business for you, that might not be the right consultant for you. It's about finding a transparent, open and honest consultant that will really analyse your business with a feasibility study before telling you that your business can be franchised. So really always find the experts and make sure they understand your business and have worked in that industry before as well, so that they understand the industry. Somebody who has maybe worked in the fast food franchise industry might not understand how a children's activity service would run as an industry. So always make sure you go to the experts. You definitely need to go to a franchise lawyer or solicitor, because the franchise agreement is a very different agreement to, say, other agreements, legal documents. So it needs to be written very heavily in the favour of the franchisor, because they're the ones with the brand to protect. And with that agreement being in place means that it protects then the franchise network there as well. So then when it comes onto the franchise network, you want to be thinking about those franchisees and how do you find them and where do you recruit them? And again, it's very industry specific. So for myself in the children's activities sector, it's known as more of a lifestyle business. So it's a very flexible offering, and we get lots of parents as franchisees because it works around their work-life balance with the children. A lot of them were in different work industries and decided that going back to work full-time, maybe longer hours, wasn't for them. They wanted to do something for themselves, but they weren't quite sure what that business was. And this is where franchising is great as well, because people know they want to be a business owner, but don't necessarily have that light bulb moment of, oh, here's a great new invention or a great new business idea. I'm going to start it from scratch. They know they want to be a business owner, but they haven't got that idea. So looking into a franchise option is great because it still gives you that ownership, that flexibility to run that business, but you're under a coveted umbrella, the safety of a brand that has been established for a while, and really making sure that somebody is there to hold your hand the whole way through. So the recruitment of franchisees, for us, we explore more of the mums going back to work market and also ex-dancers, because we run dance classes. So maybe those that have been performing and are now looking for post-retirement, which can be in the 20s, what could they do as a business? Here we have our business in a box. So the recruitment of franchisees is very different. I'm sure we would advertise on very different listings than a fast food franchise would. So it's always industry specific as well. But also what you need to think about in your mindset of recruitment of franchisees is you're not selling franchises, you're awarding them. Any franchisee that you take on should be considered as a franchise partner. You're not their employer, they're not your employee. They are investing into your business concept to be able to run it and have the guidance and support from you to run it successfully in their exclusive territory. So when you're looking to recruit, it really is finding those people that you are 100% behind, that they can run it profitably in their area. If you were just there to sell something, then it's a different mindset and you're just interested in taking money and not necessarily deciding if they are right for the business. You need to know that they're going to be right for your brand, but also you need to know that ethically you are making sure that they can run and make a successful business out of it. So you need to select the right people. It needs to be a two-way approach when you're coming into recruitment, and make sure you select the right people. It shouldn't be a one-sided sell approach. They need to know about the business concept, but you need to ask them and they need to be willing to jump through some small hoops to know more about the business, so that you know they have the right mindset to be a business owner. So the recruitment procedure should really take a decent amount of time. There should be questions on both sides. You need to assess that that person would be right to represent your brand, and they need to know that that is going to be the right business for them. Most franchise agreements are 5 years, so it's a commitment of time and money for them, but also that commitment of time for yourself as well. So you really need to make sure that you're getting that right, so that long term you are really having a long-term relationship with this franchisee. So really make sure that your mindset is about a partnership agreement, not a, I'm going to sell this to you, give you all the information to start off with, and then see you later, you're going to run with this. It's very much an ongoing process. You need to continue to nurture and motivate and inspire your network to keep going, especially through the year that we've had. So always make sure that you are thinking of that in a mindset if you are looking into franchising your business. So I hope those tips help, and we're going to move on to some questions. So I hope that I can answer all of these as well. So let's have a little look. We've got Kelly on Instagram. I always think I'm going to come up with my next business idea someday, but it hasn't struck me yet. Where did the initial inspiration for Diddy Dance come from? Good question, because actually I just organically fell into it. It's a very long story, but I've been teaching dance since my 20s. I did a degree in dance, and my dissertation was on dance movement therapy and teaching studies. And through teaching older children, I then, during the week when my performing retirement came up, I then worked for a play centre and was working with toddlers and babies. And it was there that a lot of the grown-ups there asked me about, you're a dance teacher, teach our 2-year-olds. And I was like, what? But found out they can retain so much, and it's such a rewarding age group to work with. So to answer it, I fell into it, and I've never looked back. So working with toddlers is brilliant and hilarious, and I still teach to this day. Andy on Facebook Messenger, you do educational content on stuff like finance on YouTube. I'm keen to break into TikTok, but not sure how to tailor my content to make it shorter, snappy, and more entertaining. Do you have any advice? So yes, I've managed to grow a decent following on TikTok. We're at nearly 53,000 followers, and I use it for business because it works really well for Diddy Dance. It is about, and I do believe TikTok is continuing to evolve into an educational platform. It's your shorter version of YouTube. So it really is about entertainment or education, though. It's not about selling. So if on TikTok people feel they're being sold to too much, the engagement level isn't there. So if you can make short content that delivers value, tips, hacks, anything that you can do that would make somebody's life easier for finance, and I've seen some great financial experts on there be able to show a spreadsheet hack or a financial hack, that can create a lot of engagement. It really is a great platform for education and information. So I hope that helps a little bit, but I could talk about TikTok all day. So we'll move on. I hope that's given a little bit of a snippet there. Leo on Instagram. How has the transition out of restrictions worked for your business? Are you able to fully operate now? And are you keeping any COVID practices in place? This would be great because, as you can see on the poll, that will be something we will talk about there as well. But when Freedom Day happened, I think a lot of businesses, and the same for us as well, decided to keep certain restrictions in place. The advice was still, and the guidance was still, to keep protective measures in place. And also, whilst isolation rules are still in place till, I believe, 16th of August, it didn't make any sense to loosen those. So we still, for us in our classes, because we are still running some during the summer, we're still keeping the distance. so that should somebody test positive, they're not ruining their summer holiday with their children by having to isolate for 10 days. So we've always worked at 3-metre distancing. And especially for the next few weeks, we are continuing to do that and keep those restrictions in place. So our business isn't fully operational yet, but hopefully by doing that, then by September, when term time starts again, we'll be able to relax that even more and get back to bigger capacities and hopefully financial, a little bit better financially as well. Dawn on Twitter: how do you transition a business into a franchise? What sort of resources do you need and structural changes do you need to make? Great question, Dawn. There's a lot of work that goes into franchising a business. And I think what I would advise before you even think about talking to a franchise consultant is doing your own market research locally. So I was running the classes in North London, and I was doing them all myself, and I was developing the lesson plan as I went. What was working? What were the toddlers able to retain? What repetition did I need? What music was I using? And then I decided to test other areas in London. So I opened some classes around sort of East London, South East London, and tested it that way. So I was testing geographically if it was just a certain area thing, or whether it was working outside of that area. And then I decided one of the most important things is to take yourself out of the equation. If you're the main service-based business provider of that service, you need to know if that business can still maintain itself without you in the equation. So I took myself out of the equation in the classes, and I took on a couple of teachers to test the concept for me, because maybe it was just me that people were buying into. I was very passionate, I was very enthusiastic because it was my business. If I trained up teachers, would they be as enthusiastic, and would customers still buy into that concept? So I tested it with teachers in those different areas. And when that worked, I then thought, I think a franchise concept could work, because then I can see how it works outside of London. And that's when I then started discussing with a franchise consultant, because I needed to know about an operations manual, a franchise disclosure pack, what sort of franchise agreement I needed. And then I decided to pilot it. So I took on a couple of ex-dancer friends and we piloted it outside of London. So you can pilot it at either a free or very low cost, and you're working together to help grow that and figure out how you need to work, what logistics you need in place to be able to grow it as a franchise, what you need to develop as yourself as a franchisor. So there's lots of resources and structural changes that you need, but you can do a lot of that in the preparation to test that it works, and then you can look into spending some money with a consultant and a lawyer to look into the legals of it to grow. So I hope that helps. Garrett on Facebook Messenger: in terms of leadership, do you think there's a difference between operating a single business or a franchise? I imagine there's a lot more pressure and more to consider as you go. Definitely. Leadership is the right word to use. The royalties that a franchisee generally pays are called a management service fee, but actually it more is a leadership service fee. You're there, and for me, because I still teach classes, I try and lead by example. So for example, in the last 15, 16 months, it was about trying to inspire the franchisees that we could go online, that it can work, that you can still grow this business, that we can still maintain what we had and come back to it when restrictions lifted. So for yourself as a franchisor, again, it's about your mindset. These aren't employees. They're not there to be dictated to. Yes, there are brand guidelines and things that they must adhere to because it's the brand reputation. But it's about working together in partnership, like I mentioned before. So it's a two-way street. When we've introduced new dance styles, I've always put it out to the network of, come to me with your ideas on elements that we could introduce for that. during COVID, it was very much a two-way street because, yes, I'm a franchisor of Diddy Dance and I should know everything to do with Diddy Dance till it's coming out my ears, but I've never dealt with a pandemic before. So figuring things out together was not only hopefully great for the franchisees to be part of that network with that support, but also for myself as a franchisor, having that support from the franchisees as well. So you're leading by example, but also knowing that you're human. And when something comes up like this that nobody's dealt with before, making sure that you're using that partnership even more to support each other and grow as a network. Ibrahim on Instagram. Good morning. Good morning. Is it scary to take out a home equity or deplete one's saving for a franchise? Can franchise guarantee what it will earn after opening? Now, a franchisee is like any other business, and just because you would invest into a franchise network, it gives you no guarantee of success. The franchise concept is that the business as a concept works, but it is still down to the right franchisee on delivering that locally. So it is still down to yourself as a franchisee doing all your grassroots marketing and promotion and having that drive and motivation to run that business successfully in your area. As I said earlier, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme for the franchisor or for the franchisee. Don't think that by buying a franchise, you can sit back and the money will come rolling in. It's not that sort of concept. A franchise is you want to work hard, you want to run your own business, and you want to get the rewards in for the amount of work you put in. So it's definitely not a guaranteed success. And unless you wholeheartedly believe in the franchise you are investing in and you have a genuine passion for that business, then I would say it is definitely not worth investing into. It's like any business, whether you do a startup yourself or whether you invest into a franchise network, you need to have that passion, drive, and motivation for whatever that business is to be able to make it a success. A franchisor will only give you trading projections of what they as a business have achieved or what the industry average have achieved. And so that doesn't guarantee that you would achieve it, because it is down to your hard work and your dedication and motivation to run that business. So look at the costs involved and look at the scale and risk of that and decide for yourself, can I make it a success and am I passionate enough about it? Zach on Instagram, what top 3 qualities do you mainly look for in a potential franchisee? Every franchisor will be different. And I suppose over time, qualities have changed. I always looked for a really strong lesson provider. I looked for somebody who could really provide amazing Diddy Dance lessons, because one, that's where you would get the most profit out of it if you're delivering the classes yourself, but also that's the core of the business. If you deliver great classes, then customers are going to keep coming and your business keeps growing. But actually, some of the greatest delivery teachers haven't always been the best business owners, and the drive and motivation hasn't always been there to run it as a business. They've almost run it as a hobby. So it's about finding that right balance. I think you want to find somebody who's self-motivated. Even in a franchise network, you are still effectively working independently in your own area. So they've got to be self-motivated. They've got to be driven, but they have definitely got to have the right mindset to be a business owner. It's not about, I'm looking for a teacher to deliver a class. It's, I'm looking for a business owner who can drive this in their area to make it a success, not just for myself and the brand, but for them, so that they can make this, they can build it to an asset, not an income, if that makes sense. This isn't just a job. It should be a business that they can really build for financial security for them and their family. Jordan on Facebook Messenger. Hi. Brand is such an important part of running a franchise network. Indeed it is. How do you manage marketing with them? Is it centrally controlled, managed individually, or a bit of both? it's a bit of both. You want them to have a certain creative freedom. And I think especially through social media and when it's a service-based business, customers want to know about who is running it in their area. They don't want to see my face all over it because I'm not the one delivering it to their children. We have all of our templates and brand guidelines for the franchisees so that they don't go off brand, and so that a customer would see the artwork, see our messaging, see our ethos, and know they are part of the Diddy Dance network. But also, we encourage the franchisees to show themselves on their own local marketing. So it's about the customers being able to engage with them and know a bit about them. Why did they start that business? What drives them? What are their passions? So you want their personalities to come out. Don't go off brand, but be able to showcase themselves and talk about their stories as well, because that is what people engage with. So I hope that helps as well. Final question, Sienna on Twitter. You talked about being a responsible franchisor and making ethical decisions. What sort of decisions do you mean? I think the main thing is your franchise recruitment. I think any ethical franchisor should be able to turn down a franchisee. You know, they might be completely enthusiastic about running it, but you can tell their heart isn't really in it. Their motives might be that, well, you know, I was made redundant, or COVID's done this, and you feel that this business might be more of a stopgap for them, and really their heart is more to have another full-time job, to be employed. So it's about making that ethical decision of going, oh, quick, I'll just take your money and that'd be great. No, ethically, you need to know that this probably isn't the right decision for them. And a franchise isn't a stopgap. As I said before, most a 5-year agreement. You don't want somebody to start something up for 6 months and then it disappear because they then go and decide to take a full-time job. So ethical decisions is mainly about your franchise recruitment. It's not about taking the money and running. It's about being responsible and really believing that that franchisee can make it a success for them so that they can earn financially from that business. And then our business as a whole, teaching toddlers, we are fully accredited by the Children's Activities Association. We make sure that everything that we do has been fully assessed by child experts, child psychologists, early years movement specialists, to make sure we are delivering something developmentally correct for that age group as well. So with the service that we offer, we hope that we're being responsible and ethical in that sense as well. So two-pronged, I think as a franchisor, it's mainly about recruitment and not just going, brilliant, they want to buy it, taking the money and hoping that they'll be okay, making sure you take on the right people. So the poll results are in. We asked you, has your business been able to operate as normal since restrictions were lifted? 0% of you said yes and 100% answered no. And I would completely agree. I don't think Freedom Day, as it was called, was Freedom Day for businesses. I think if you're a responsible business, you are still following protective measures because you want to be responsible for your customers there, but also you don't want that to then hinder your business further. So, for example, if we took down all restrictions and everybody just mixed together close contact in our classes, and then somebody tested positive, all those customers had to isolate for 10 days, I then don't have any customers for the following week. So as a business, I think hopefully we're all still, as 100% of you have said, we're not operating as normal yet because we want to be responsible. We want to have protective measures still in place so that sustainably we can keep going for that little bit longer, hopefully. So yeah, I would completely agree that I think this message we've been handed as life is back to normal now isn't normal, and it's still going to take time for us to build our businesses till we can really get back to where we were profitably and ethically. So I agree with you all there. So thank you very much for tuning in this morning. If you want to get in contact with me, if you want to ask anything more about franchising or just about running a service-based business, you can send me an email. I'm on info@diddidance.com. And you can also follow me on Instagram. I am Original Diddy Dancer. And for the person asking about TikTok, you can even follow me on there, same name, Original Diddy Dancer. So coming up on Ask the Expert tomorrow is Aaron Patrick, a pro advisor accountant and QuickBooks expert. So tune in to get advice on accounting and the latest features and tools that'll make your bookkeeping easier. A reminder that if you need any more advice, join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook, where accountants and business experts are on hand 24/7. I've really enjoyed answering your questions this morning. Thank you very much, and hopefully I'll see you again.